All right, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and the moment we've all been waiting for is finally here. Hasnet Marble delivered the second coming of Sentry. Tier 4 Null is here, ladies and gentlemen. The 12.3 patch notes. I don't usually do patch notes videos, so you know it's hype when you see your boy here, okay? So let's dive into it, man. Let's see if this is all that we have been waiting for. So Null, who has obtained tier 4 advancement and a new uniform, has risen from his throne to bring his dark plans to fruition. We'll have to wait and see. Carnage, with the powers of his new uniform, plans to unleash even more brutal massacres. All right, so this is one of those patch notes that's going to be rolling. There's going to be no maintenance. Pretty much log into the game anywhere from 8 to 10 p.m. PST, aka around, I would say, 12 a.m. EST, and you should get a patch for you to download, and the new uniform for Null is going to be here for 1625. Okay, 50% discount. Very, very good. Even though we're past Black Friday, they're not gonna be slimy and put it for full cost. So if you are a Null fan, if you see yourself using this, man, at any point before the anniversary, which is gonna be in April of next year, you wanna get the uniform, because otherwise you're gonna be paying anywhere from 3,250 to 2,500, because it will get discounted regularly, pretty much every month, by 40%. Okay, yeah, I think it's actually, it might be 2,750. I was thinking about Thanos's. Yeah, I think it might be 2,750. That's the 40% discount. Anyways, point is, very, very expensive. You don't want to ever buy it unless it's 1625. Moving on. Let's see what Null is getting. So from his uniform bonus, he's getting guaranteed critical rate, super armor, and 50% all defense. Good, but I think it could be better. Just my opinion. Moving on. For his tier 2 passive, they're increasing his chain hit damage from 20 to 25%. His additional pierce is staying the same, and he's getting 5% more damage reduction. I think this could have gone up to 50, honestly. That's just my 2 cents. I think this could have gone up to 30. My 2 cents. He's keeping his debuff removal. That's fine. He's keeping the exact same undead passive that he had. First skill, pretty vanilla. Second skill has iframe ignore. Before, this was a skill that you basically could channel indefinitely. Let me just show you guys right here. So it's interesting to see that they're putting his iframe here. Previously, the iframe was on the third skill. However, the third skill used to have a 30-second cooldown. Okay, look at this. 30-second cooldown, which means with max skill cooldown, at most, you could only get this off every 15 seconds, which is a big yikes for where we are in PvP. So just by changing this one simple thing, they're making it so that this guy, excuse me, might be one of the most powerful characters in the game, if this skill actually hits hard. And I say if, because if you take a look at somebody like Adam Warlock, who the reason, or part of the reason why he is so powerful, is because his second skill hits very, very hard, has iframe ignore, and an incredibly low cooldown time, right? So take a look at this. This is Adam Warlock right here, the big dog that's been remaining meta for, honestly, one of the longest, craziest, scariest runs we've ever seen. Probably will ever see. So yeah, look at no second skill, iframe ignore, 40% heal, more than Adam. It penetrates everything for 6 seconds, invincibility, and the man removes debuffs from himself. Keep in mind, that's now 2 skills, rather a passive that gives him debuff removal, and an active skill that he's going to be able to put up every 4 seconds, because the cooldown is 8 seconds. With max skill cooldown, that means you can use this skill every 4 seconds. He's going to be debuff removing forever. You're never going to be able to put debuffs on this guy, as it should be the case, because he's a freaking god, right? So it's crazy, honestly. And on top of that, they gave him the ability to ignore damage reduction, 20% of it, nothing crazy. We've seen higher than this, but
here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
being able to heal 40% of his HP, pretty much ignoring iframe, depending on how long the skill lasts, all the time, because bro, 4 seconds goes by quick. This might be the shortest cooldown time we see on any skill ever that has iframe ignore. Okay, moving on, he got silence and fracture, so possibly could be ABX, ABL. We will have to wait and see. He has damage immunity. On the 4th skill, he has sneer and paralysis. Again, means he could possibly double dip, for ABX/ABL while having some PvP value, just because of the fact that he has immunity to guard break. Could see a Ghost Rider kind of situation there. At the very least, it looks like he might actually be more impactful than he was when he first came to the game, and he still has damage accumulation based on damage dealt, which is fan-freaking-tastic. He has a VPAD skill. Again, VPAD, very, very good for, say it with me, ABX, ABL, okay? Especially if this is what you're proccing on. We'll have to wait and see if he's proc friendly or not. I doubt it, but still. And take a look at this. His 5th skill, immunity to all debuffs for 5 seconds. He's the only character in the game that I can remember that has not 1, not 2, but 3 abilities that remove debuffs.
Shut up and take my money.
You can't debuff this guy, bro. You can't, bro. Between his passive, just removing debuffs every 20 seconds, he has 2 bloody active skills, one with a super low cooldown and another one which, bro, this is not even a long cooldown. Like 7.5 second cooldown. So when he's not tapping his 2nd skill to remove debuffs, he's tapping the 5th skill to remove debuffs. Yeah. Forget lowering his defenses. Forget doing anything debuff related to Null. That's fan-freaking-tastic, okay? Moving on. We got Carnage. I gotta say, what I'm seeing right now on this man looks amazing. But let's move on to Carnage, okay? So Carnage, uniform bonus, 40% HP, 30% chance to increase critical damage by 100% of critical attack. That's a 10% increase to his HP. However, the critical chance and the damage that he does on the critical attacks stays the same. Moving on, we got Absolute Madness, which is his tier 3. Hopefully you can instantly cancel this. For the most part, all of this looks like it's staying exactly the same. Moving on, we got the Leadership. Looks like it's staying exactly the same. His tier 2 passive, he keeps his guard break immunity. His skill damage and bonus damage is 45-40, which is a little bit higher than last time. It's 5% on both of them. So going up from 40 to 45 and 35 to 40. His damage reduction, which is what I would have liked to see increase, is staying the same. They could have bumped this up by 5% or 10% would have been nice. But let's continue. We have the 4-star passive, which gives us 35% critical damage. That's the same as last time. We got the guaranteed critical rate, 30%. That's the same as last time. And the immunity to bleed effect, say it with me now, same as last time. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And all we see so far is 10% HP, 5% skill damage, bonus damage. First skill looks pretty vanilla. 2nd skill looks pretty vanilla. 3rd skill, this was the skill that had the iframe ignore. It dropped particles that would heal him, but it gave him a flat 10% heal. And on top of that, 15% attack. And it kicked off his accumulation. Now the accumulation is staying. However, the iframe ignore and the healing particles, as you can see, are now gone. Right here on the 4th skill, previously we had penetration and we had a frenzy buff. So slight change here. What they did instead was move the iframe ignore and the penetration to the exact same skill. And I actually do like this change. In most cases, moving the iframe ignore to the 5th skill would hurt the character because your 5th skill is usually, and in the case of Carnage, it is the highest cooldown skill in your kit. It's at 17 seconds. But if you take a look at his previous uniform, it's not gonna hurt him too much because it's only a 1 second difference for his iframe ignore skill. And at least this way, with the iframe ignore and the penetration being on the same skill, when you ignore the enemy's iframe and you start attacking them, you don't have to worry about not being able to do damage to them because they either have invincibility up or damage immunity up. So when you get your 5th skill off and you ignore their iframe, you can also penetrate at the same time. And as you can see, it gives you a 30% heal as well. So he is definitely becoming noticeably stronger offensively and defensively. Higher HP pool means every time he heals, he's going to heal more. So that 10% heal that they buffed up on the uniform makes a difference. And then they gave him 2 better heals. So instead of a 10% heal and then having to run around to collect the particles to heal up, now he can just hit his 3rd skill for 20% and then his 5th skill for 30%. That bumps him up by 50% HP, which is absolutely fantastic. Now the only thing is, I hope that this skill has super guard break on it, because as you can see right here, the only skill in Carnage's kit that had super guard break was his 4th skill. And this was one of the reasons why he was really good for timeline, because he would just super guard break people and penetrate them at the same time, and they couldn't do anything. They would just die. So if they make it so that this new 5th skill has super guard break on it, we're cooking, boys. We could see a null null Carnage PvP takeover. At least they might have a chance of rivaling Wolverine and Thanos, maybe even Adam, for a spot in the top five for timeline battle. Hey, I'm excited. He looks good, but Null looks fantastic in terms of his base kit. I'm a little bit disappointed with everything else for Null though. The tier 4 buff could be better. I think this is going to be a 7-second refreshing heal. So when you pop this, even though it says 1 second here, it's going to be like 20%. Then 1 second pass, another 20%, and another 20%, and another, you know, for a total of 140%. The reason why I say that is because the all attack lasts for 7 seconds. It wouldn't make sense for the heal to only be 1 second. The big thing is though, it does 1000% of his physical attack. So this thing might actually slap when he hits. Moving on, we have his artifact, and it is kind of what I expected it to be. The same as Silver Surfer, Scarlet Witch, Gore, Jean Grey, and others. Gonna give him 20% extra damage to heroes and villains. Now, here's the thing though. They did not say that his artifact was or will be added to World Boss Legend, right? I'm looking at the patch notes here. They basically spoke about fixing Agent Venom's classic look. They spoke about some zombie survival stuff, which we'll touch on in a second, but they did not say that we're gonna basically be able to farm this artifact for free in World Boss Legend, which to me means that they're gonna be time gating it. It doesn't mean that it's not going to get added. I think what they want to do is milk the whales a little bit further. So they're basically going to make it so that it's a chase artifact, which you really shouldn't be chasing it, right? Unless you're using essence to chase it, which is part of the reason why I haven't used my essence yet. And I was talking to my homie John earlier today, saying that they might do some shit like this. So I think what they're doing here is they're going to release it. And since we're not going to get a maintenance update, they more than likely are not going to add this to World Boss Legend until January, right? In the January update, when they do maintenance, then they're going to go ahead and retroactively put the artifact for Null in all of the stages 10 and above for World Boss Legend when you play him. Now, I could be wrong, and they could add it in right away. And if that's the case, that's fantastic. But if not, expect this to come, I would say, in January's update, if they don't do a full update for December, which they generally do not. Moving on, we got Zombie Survival, which they've improved. Before, it was restricting 3 skills minimum. Now there's going to be a chance that it restricts 2 or 3 skills, which is really good. It opens up the amount of characters that you can use. And then in addition to that, it's going to rotate. Instead of always doing 1, 4, and 5, after the patch, it's going to restrict 1, 2, and 4. Honestly, I think they could have just made it so that it picks between all of the skills. They don't have to change it to just 1, 2, and 4. That's just my 2 cents. But y'all let me know what you think of the patch notes in the comments. Do you think they delivered with Null? Now, besides the patch notes, they did drop an announcement letting us know that they are going to be refreshing the 50% bonus crystal event. So if you're a mega whale and you burn through all of your crystals for the bingo, or you're like me and you were gambling for cards and doing a whole bunch of crazy shit, you can re-up on crystals and get right back to spending. Anyways, besides that, there's going to be an event coming where you can get bios for Sleeper, Agent Venom, or Carnage, which is really good. And this looks like it's going to be a free event. And all three of these guys are technically paywalls or semi-paywalls, right? So if you are free to play, I would say unlock all of them. If you are a whale, there's something for you. There's the token chest, the team up collection token chest rather. So you can get 8 of these. That's probably what I'm gonna do, and get a bunch of tokens to level up my team up collection. That's actually a really cool event. In addition, we have this one right here, some world boss missions where you can get a little bit of tier 4 materials and a couple books.